What's up everyone, MK Tom Brady here, and in this video I want to talk about, look, Sub-Zero is just bad. They did give him some buffs, which do help him a little bit in open space and should help his corner game, but the problem is they didn't really give him a way to use those buffs outside of hitting a combo in open space, and his new corner game, which should work, doesn't because his primary move doesn't have any counterplay. Now, this is from a set yesterday featuring Sikander. Regardless of what people say, there are a lot of Sub-Zero players that feel, Sub-Zero haters who feel a certain way about Sikander. It's no surprise. There are a lot of Sub-Zero haters that hate any good Sub-Zero player. Regardless of what you think, this is one of, if not the best Sub-Zero player in the world. Maybe you can make an argument for someone else here or there, but to say that this guy is not one of, at the bare minimum, the best Sub-Zero players in the world would be highly disingenuous. He's going up against a Sindel player who is not Sonic Fox. Now, this is not a scrubby Sindel player at all, and nor did what he do consider to be cheap or scrubby or no skill, because running away and zoning is a skill. It is a skill set, and it is a valid strategy. He's also not even using a meta team. Like Sindel Tremor is not meta, period. So he's kind of doing his own thing, and he knows what he's doing, obviously, and he is obviously well-versed in a lot of Sub-Zero's weaknesses and is not going to let Sub-Zero get away with anything here. Zoning is a legitimate strategy. Now, getting in on zoning has nothing to do with the character, only the player. Now, the character can have tools that help you get in on zoning, and it can have tools that help you do things when you do get there. However, the act of getting in is on the player. The problem is Sub-Zero has no offense, none, no real defense, and he has no trapping. Characters in general would not be an issue no matter what they did if you had your own offense and your own trapping. You see Sub-Zero in games like MK9, people try to make it seem like, oh, Tom was just running away. 99% of the time, I was hyper-aggressive because you had to be. You had characters like Cabal and Freddy and characters like this just running away from you, zoning you, chasing you down. In fact, you have to chase them down. In fact, there were only about 3 characters that you could actually run away from. The rest of them, you were very, very aggressive. And he had great trapping, which worked. This game, he has no offense, no trapping, nothing at all. And his defense obviously isn't even powerful either. Defensively, you can't keep out a character like Johnny Cage that you need to keep out. Offensively, it doesn't matter if you get in on a character. What are you going to do when you get there? But Tom used Chameleon. Okay, so people will say, you know, Chameleon makes Sub-Zero mid-tier. No, Chameleon by herself is basically a bottom of the mid-tier answer. Anything with Chameleon becomes bottom to mid-tier. Sub-Zero is he's bad because his tools are not allowed to work. He has a slide that rarely goes under highs unless you just throw it out long before the projectile comes out. He has an EX Ice Ball that costs a bar but is so slow it almost never even gets to come out and never freezes anyway because of how long it takes to get there. He's got an Ice Clone in which he has 4 versions of the move, and of course, all 4 versions do the exact same thing, don't really offer any counterplay for the most part to what he's trying to do, don't give him any trapping, any safety, they're just going to blow it up for free by seeing it happen. And of course, people will say, but the dive kick. But the dive kick. I can promise you right now, you will not find a better user of the dive kick than Sikander. Anyone who watches this guy play can tell you that. Well, how much is that dive kick working out for you here? His best move, the dive kick. I don't see anything here that says, man, this character's got a dive kick. This is air superiority here. No, not even close. So even Sub-Zero's best move, for people who know what they're doing, isn't that good either. And this is People will say, oh, it's just a matchup thing. This is a bad matchup. No, this is a Sub-Zero issue. Sub-Zero has no defense, no offense, and no trapping. He has no way to enforce any of that. And it doesn't matter if you're using Pharah. So most of these games were done with Pharah. There were, I think, 3 done with Chameleon. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The best cameo for Sub-Zero, unfortunately, is now a toned-down Chameleon. And his second best cameo is probably Kung Lao. The Sub-Zero Kung Lao team did get some buffs because of Sub-Zero's changes. But you're still on Chameleon, who's even worse than she was before. Overall, I feel like a lot of characters are in this boat. Meaning that a lot of their tools are still kind of like watered down. Now, the game is improving, and I do have high hopes for the expansion. But you have Sikander and a lot of Sub-Zero players right now saying, no, I'm done. I'll just play Noob Saibot, because they just feel like NRS will never allow certain playstyles to live. So they will never allow a trapping type of archetype or a potential to be lame type of archetype to exist. And who really knows if that's the case? But either way, this is kind of the state of Sub-Zero now. He is in a place where his only offense is Chameleon. He doesn't have anything he can do on his own. So either his cameo does 100% of everything, or he doesn't do anything at all. And that's just because his tools just don't give him anything. Offensively, what is his offense? Nobody can name it. Poke, throw, stagger. Look at this. Stagger, forward 1, backdash, forward 1. That's not reliable offense. That'll work here and there. And I was just mentioning this yesterday, the Pharah stuff. What happens if they delay wake up and you go to do Pharah, then you're going to die. So Pharah is not, I don't feel like a great choice. Now, this is demoralizing when Pharah is not enough for your character. The cameo that everybody is saying is broken, and that's not enough. I mean, that's demoralizing. And of course, he's trying to do offensive stuff, dive kicks, staggers, but what happens to those staggers? They get caught more times than not. What happens to those dive kicks? More times than not. If you're smart, there we go, it lands. But they don't land enough. They get punished and miss against a well-trained opponent a lot more than they're going to land. It's just that not every Mortal Kombat player uses their brain. They just do what they do, and if they get hit, they say, what? Oh, what do you mean I have to consider your moves too? So, overall, the state of Sub-Zero, not a good one, but we're hoping for a better one soon. So, the best maybe I'll do an updated Sub-Zero Kung Lao guide. Everyone knows Chameleon. Sub-Zero Kung Lao does have some synergy, does have some dirt in the corner, which do make use of his new buffs, and it can be pretty nasty. He has a Sindel situation in the corner now where you're able to circumvent the clone cooldown and keep things looped in time for the hat to constantly recharge over and over and over again. But, you know, overall, I would say things are not looking good right now. And like I said, I do have hope in the update. But for right now, I just feel like Sub-Zero, for anyone that was saying, oh, he's so much better now, he's like MK9, he's got a filthy corner game. He doesn't have any corner game. Doesn't have any offensive game. And anyone that says he's a defensive character, you can't even keep out a character like Johnny Cage. So a character that you would think a defensive character would keep out, he can't even do. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. And again, I do think the game is improved and improving, so I am not down on the game. I understand it's not called Sub-Zero Combat. It is called Mortal Kombat. I am enjoying watching the game in general right now, and I think a lot of people are. And I think a lot of people are excited for the expansion because the game is going the right direction. This is only about Sub-Zero in this video, not about MK1. Thanks for watching, everyone. Yeah, I'll go ahead and put that Sub-Zero Kung Lao guide out probably sometime this afternoon. And it's got some nasty stuff in the corner for sure. It is greatly improved, but Sub-Zero Farah just isn't it. So you're stuck with Sub-Zero Chameleon again and Sub-Zero Lao. Some things never change.